welcome to our coverage of British Showjumping's International Stairway Series. And we've come to the south coast and to the popular New Forest and Hampshire County Show. It's the 7th and penultimate stop on the 2015 series. And looking at the overall standings, we have two riders who are absolutely neck and neck. So just a reminder then, this is the 7th leg of the series, with the next stop, the final, held at the National Championships at Stoneleigh Park. It's a series that's taken us all over the UK and it's now heading towards its conclusion. So let's take a look at the league standings, and as you can see, it's as tight as it can be at the top, with Nigel Kaup and Tim Davis both tied on 28 points. There's no breathing space, so a good result for any of the top six could see them move to the top of the leaderboard. Philip Miller on Unbelievable Lady sits just 7 points behind, whilst Tim Stockdale and Bling Bling have been having a cracking run of form, second at both the Royal Highland and the Royal Norfolk. So the course is set then for our first round. Riders just having a final look at it, and Tim, coming up to the final fence, what do you make of that? That's not an easy last related distance.
No, it's 6 strides, obviously flat water at the end of a course, or skin a little bit sort of heavy in your hand. You've got to be careful there. Quite a decent parallel at the end, so you know you've got to jump the last two to be clear. But I must say, quite early on, 3, 4, 5 and 6, it comes at you like bullets. You know, they're coming at you quick fire. So we've really got to be on our mettle right from the very start. And
you're right in there with Bling Bling. Hopes of creeping up that leaderboard even more. 2 seconds recently with him.
Yeah, this is not ideal for Bling Bling, I have to be honest with you. He's a big horse, he takes a little bit of organising in these rings, and so I need a bit of time, so that doesn't ideally suit me, but Erasmus, the first horse that I ride, it does suit him nicely, so fingers crossed.
Looking down the list of competitors, though, it's as hot as ever.
This is always a very popular show, and it's a lot of tradition at the New Forest show. It's predominantly a big course here, and clear rounds are normally at the 4, and I think that's going to be the same case today.
Well, off you go, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, the course is set then, riders are heading off. It is first round time, so let's head up to our commentator, Steve Wilde.
Thank you, Ali. Yes, a beautiful afternoon here at the New Forest. The wonderful turf and a packed house, as always, with the wonderful 3 days of competition here, with the culmination of the show jumping with the International Stairway Series. Nigel Kaup will be our pathfinder with Jubilee the third. Former ride of Vicky Young. This horse coming to him this season, and again strengthens the string. We've seen some superb rounds with Golvers Hill, but always needing more horses to be a part of that, to be able to contest at the top level. Not always able to go to your top ride all the time. You need several alongside to keep in the money. Now this potentially looks a real problem area on the course. Got to keep moving down that combination. This one comes up very quickly. Nigel holds for that. Still getting used to this one now. They roll back right on themselves along the fence. Got to keep the balance there. So easy to lose the balance on the corners. Another big vertical. Now right the way along the collection ring side. Certainly tested them out. Again, that one really does take that one out. Holds for this. And they've got to really push on the way out to make that big spread. Just got to have control all the way. Water, not too much of a stretch. Should be straightforward enough at this level. Gives it a rub there at the last, but it does leave them on the 4 for Nigel Kaup. Horse just getting away from him there, just says come back. 76.14. And just, you see, comes slightly on the curve and just loses a little of the height. Tim Davis, Valentino, this is a key one for them in the overall championship series. A little sticky to start. Now needs to go forward and find the rhythm. Want to be going in a good pace all the way around that stays consistent throughout to find right rhythm, pace, athleticism that they need, and that's going to be key in here. Snaps in front. With the time allowed, they've just got to keep in mind to keep it close there. Time allowed of 84 shouldn't be too much of a problem. Pushes on the forward, just doesn't quite snap up fast enough there, gets away with it just with the back toes. Was in trouble there at the first part, then it was a long way on the way out. Vertical to spread, you need plenty of impulsion on the way in. You've got to be careful in the first part, but just have enough to get the back bar on the way, and has the same trouble there. Just touching a few of those back bars on the way round, and would leave them with the 2 down. Finishes on the 8. We see he was not really settled there and pulled off the last part.
So Alfie, I suppose the first question is 4 to 5. You can see there it's quite a tight turn into that quite daunting treble combination.
Yeah, absolutely. You're coming away from the collecting ring to quite a big oxer going in, and then probably a short distance to a vertical. So it's pretty difficult.
Very difficult, in fact, causing problems for quite a few. Several on the deck, and certainly plenty of poles on the floor down that line. Tumbling timber, and I'm afraid Tim Stockdale was one of those in trouble there. But what about Tim Davis? Could the championship be up for a change?
Well, Tim, react to that disappointing round with Valentino.
Yeah, very disappointed. He felt like he was jumping really well. I thought I was all right at the double, but it was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. I should have pressed a bit more going out, and then I was just a bit too deep at the last, but that's horses for you, that's the way it goes.
The time in the back of your mind thinking you had one down, perhaps you needed to speed up and try and be one of those fastest 4 faults to get into the jump off?
The time wouldn't have really mattered then because I only had 2 fences to go, so I'm not going to make up that much. But one down would have probably still given me some more points, but hey, you know, he's been good all year and he's jumped well against it. It's just probably my mistake, really.
Well, crucial points on offer all round, and this man a contender once again. He's been a winner in the series before now. Philip Miller this year with the 8-year-old Unbelievable Lady. Of course, we've seen such good results with Coriti RZ before now. There's a horse that's been stepped up to this level this year. It's well-bred mare for the Brendan stud. Consistent finishes, top 3 placings down at the Devon County, 5th at the South of England, finished well at the Great Yorkshire as well. Now Philip, experienced international rider, and really has been getting a great partnership with this horse. Has got the horse, she's there, controlled, listening to him as they come down that short distance, back on the roll back, full stride, 5 then on. Now you can see it's stayed in a pretty consistent rhythm all the way through. That's what they're looking for. Oh, and a rub there. Now needs a good one on the way out. Another touch. Still there though. Now again, he's thinking about the time. Tight round the corner. Keeps coming to the water. Just the last. Looks good, looks very good. Gives us the first, the clears. Nice round from Philip Miller. An Unbelievable Lady. A partnership really is growing all the way with that 8-year-old. But watching closely will be series leader Nigel Kaup. How will it play out after this round?
Well, Nigel, one down with your first horse, but we've seen the course cause all sorts of trouble, and Tim Davis is out. Your main rival, of course, tied on points. It's not proving easy.
No, I bought the course. I was first to go, and I thought it was tough. But they have to be, you know. This is what they're here for. Yeah, Tim's had a couple off, but Phil's just behind us and he's gone clear. So you know, pressure's always on, and no matter what anybody else does, I have to do my job.
We haven't seen you on the International Stairway Series for a couple of rounds. What have you been up to?
Norfolk I missed due to the Hickshead Derby. He was second in the Hickshead Derby, so I decided we weren't going to jump him so soon after that. And then I got selected to go to Falsterbo, so I ended up missing the Wednesday of the Great Yorkshire. So yeah, I've missed a couple, but you know, that's life. You've got to pick and choose your shows, and you know, I made that decision.
Looks back, it's still there. This combination that's caused problems for so many. Just on the curve on the 5, as Alfie said, comes up pretty quickly now. Just gathers back up around the corner, balances back up for the next. This could be a key round in the series overall, with Tim Davis out the running here at the New Forest. Pushes on the way out for the back bar, stretches, and time hasn't been too much of a factor in terms of the time allowed. Also remember, he's been around already on Jubilee. A bit of trouble here. Runs into that first part. So on the 4, needs to try and stay at that if they're going to get some valuable points here. The last, oh, that goes to, well, that makes a big difference. Finishes on the 8 then for Nigel Cap this time with Golvers Hill, 77.13. Well, finishes on the 8 and just a rub behind, not much there at all as he looks back, but that makes a big difference as Nigel Cap and Tim Davis both on the 8. And Nigel Cap just in the top 5 that go forward to that second round. It's all to play for those two as it's game on. Join us to see how it plays out after the break.
It's a slightly strange feeling down here ringside because I've never known an International Stairway Series first round course cause so much trouble. Over half the field have retired and not completed. Poles have been flying everywhere.
Certainly have, and spread all around the course, proving a challenge for Britain's very, very best riders. Tina Fletcher amongst them, amongst a host of riders to raise their hands here at the New Forest and save the combinations for another day. It's a tough one to win, but who will come on top? Tim Stockdale, another to step out.
Well, the riders just warming up for the second round. We have the 5 riders confirmed. Nigel Calp on Golvers Hill will be first into the arena. They are carrying forward that 8 faults from the first round. He's actually got 2 in the jump off. Charles Lux, he's got 1. David McPherson, he's also through on his mare carrying 8 faults. But the last rider into the ring will be Philip Miller. He's the only clear in the first round, so he's going to know exactly what he has to do to take this title and possibly move to the top of the overall leaderboard.
Well, certainly puts the pressure on Philip. Not sure whether it's a good position to be in or not. Will the pressure pay? We wait and see. But you can see plenty watching here in the beautiful afternoon sunshine here at the New Forest. It's a great holiday destination as well, as many see out the summer. But Nigel Calp and Golvers Hill are certainly ones not sitting back here. On the 8 faults, do not want to be any worse than that, as they're looking to still get in that top 5 with some valuable points, and they can get a little bit further up the order if they can try and stay clear here. So we'll keep moving around. You see cuts in here, tight up to that vertical. And again, they're using all of the arena here. Steve Williams' track, challenging them all the way. He's designed the last leg at the Royal County of Berkshire on a host of occasions. Another tuck in there for Nigel to this big vertical. And then just the first part taken away in the double there. Last part remains. And keep coming to it. A roll back to another vertical on the corner. And it's an interesting finish, 56.10. It's a clear this time for Nigel Calp and Golvers Hill. Repairs a little bit of the damage that they had from the first round, but it still leaves them with a long way to go. Can't win it? Well, they could do, you never know, but it would be a long way from the back. Combination that won at the South of England show. Dave McPherson, Gloria van der Zutova. Another one looking to achieve the same. Big jumping horse that looks so impressive at the South of England. 2 down in the first round. And again, you'd expect another potential clear in the bag as they look to come back hard. Turns tight up to that. Sneaks inside. And that makes all the difference. And you see from Nigel's point of view, that then moves him up a place. Going into that second round from a 5th position up to 4th. There still, though, is a horse that looks with international potential written all over it. Turn to the last instead of the traditional usual run to the finish. demands control and balance. 55.56 for this time for David McPherson, and so puts him on to the 12 faults at this stage. 3 more left to come, and here just a tiny touch in front, but a horse that's got international potential written all over it. Charles Lakes starts on the 4, then Cicero the second. Now he, like Nigel Cap, wants to stay clear in this round. He'll stay above the others if he can, and pretty steadily away. Rider based, lives up in London. Hugely successful businessman, as well as competing at the very top level. Rides internationally for South Africa. Has competed at championship level for them. Very deliberate on the round so far. And that makes a big difference. That now puts him level on score with Nigel Cap. Now he's just edged up the pace a bit there on the corner, but he's well behind that of where Nigel was already at this stage. So that would move Nigel Cap up another spot. What he's got to be careful of is the time too. Time allowed of 59 seconds. He's going to be over that. He's hit that already, so it's 1 fault for every second over the time allowed, and that's going to make a big difference as well. Add 63.92, so it adds 5 time to the score. So 1 down is the 4, 5 time, total of 9, and takes them up to 13 in the finish for Charles Lakes. Pole making a big difference. Nigel Cap, Jubilee the second, an early one. Again, 4 faults for him in round 1. Now he just needs to put the foot down, which is what he's doing. Remember, Golvers Hill is the one he's gaining the points on in the series to try and take that championship. Takes a similar eye, skips in there, round the timing. Nicely inside on a horse that's light on its feet. Lighter type maybe than Golvers Hill. 4 in this round though. Again, he himself is fighting for his own position. Just has to hold there, so steady. Around this corner, hard to keep the balance. Goes a touch wider. And will be close to time as well. 61.37 is going to put time on 2 for Nigel Cap. 3 of those added to the score. So 4 for the fence down, and 3 time takes them up to 7 this time around. Final score of 11. But it was that early one just tipped that front hoof back down over the plank. Now, Philip Miller, Unbelievable Lady, laid out for him here. Last to go. Only clear so far from the first round. All he's got to do is be round inside the time of 59 seconds and not have a fence down. He's keeping moving there, remembering with the rest. He's actually got a fence in hand. He can have a fence down and still win this. But he'll want to stay on a 0. Moves forward. And that goes. You can hear the groan from the crowd. Now remember, he cannot afford another. It could put Nigel Cap right back in the driving seat if he does. One more. He's just got this for the win. He can go a little bit wider to it, but it's going to be close on time. He is going to pick up time faults, and those are going to make the difference. 60.97. It's 2 time, but finishes on just the 6 in the end. He plays it brilliantly, and it is just enough to stay in front. 60.97 on the clock. Unbelievable Lady, and the fantastic 8-year-old mare that he rides. Philip Miller finishes top once again in the International Stairway Series. It rolled, spun, and dropped. It was enough, though, to stay in front. It is a win here at the New Forest for Philip Miller, an Unbelievable Lady. Nigel Cap finishes in second for those valuable points, and also finishes in third. So puts Nigel well ahead in the series with Golvers Hill. Tim Davis in second, still on 33, but Philip Miller draws upside it.
Well, Philip, congratulations. How nerve-wracking was that, knowing you just got to clear that final fence to win?
Yeah, no, I mean, we built a tough course out there today. I mean, it's something only clear anyway. And then, you know, they were all edging up. And, you know, it's the way she jumped, she was tired after the first round. It could have gone either way, really. But she was very unlucky to have a fence down, but she did try her hardest, so happy with that.
You must have been surprised jumping clear so early on in the class to find yourself the only clear of the day.
Yeah, no, she ran out of puff sort of like 3/4 of the way round, but one thing with her, she keeps trying, so yeah, no, it was good class.
She's been so consistent. Good to get the win, though.
Yeah, she's been very good all year, so I mean, she's still young, she's only 8, so she's been really good.
And vital points on that leaderboard heading to Stoneleigh. You're now tied second with Tim Davis, so I presume you'll be heading to the National Championships, gunning to get that ticket to the Horse of the Year show?
Yeah, definitely going for the Stairway final, so see what happens when we get there.
Nigel, congratulations, second there with Golvers Hill. I bet you didn't expect that when you had two fences down in the first round.
No, bittersweet really. You know, I don't think he particularly jumped very well. I think it's 2 weeks since the Yorkshire on the Thursday. And he liked to get in the ring, you know, and I probably should have jumped him yesterday with hindsight, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. He didn't jump great, and then down to the double, it ended up a bit of a tight 6, and now just mullered it. And then to the last fence, I lost my reins a bit over the water, and in the first round, and then, you know, I had that down and just thought, oh, you know, that's life, and away you go. But yeah, I got in the jump off, and then he jumped clear, and we moved up, which, I mean, it was a bit of a strange class, really. I mean, you've seen the class, and I thought it was tough enough when I walked it, but I didn't think like poles would fall like they have done today.
Good to go clear at the top of the leaderboard on those overall rankings. You're 4 points clear now, heading to the final show, final day.
Yeah, it's better, I suppose it's better to be in front than behind, but yeah, I suppose that gives me a bit of leeway. But you know, again, it's down to the last day, and I think probably 3 of us could win it. So all preparations now for that Sunday, the 16th of August.
So Tony Newbury there presenting today's prizes. He's team manager of the Young Rider and Junior Great Britain teams, and as Nigel said, it has really been a truly interesting class. I bet he didn't think, having 2 poles down in the first round, he'd then finish second and top the leaderboard, heading to our final round. It's at the National Championships at Stoneleigh in August. It's going to be really exciting. Just 4 points separate our top 3 riders. Nigel has a very narrow lead at the moment. I hope you can join us then.